I started to do videos.
Yeah, dude.
I started
Content
to do,
is so good.
I started to do videos, and when I first started, it was actually with my good friend. His name is Kalen.
Mm.
So prior to me getting into like collaborative videos with Kalen, I was just making stupid skits.
Yeah.
Like I did my first couple videos, like I was singing in the shower,
Yeah.
right? And and then I did like some skits where I'm trying to think. This a minute ago, right? So I did some skits where like I did the coronavirus thing, like where it's like, oh, like I got the coronavirus from drinking a Corona. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing little silly things like that. So
Yeah.
then I meet Kalen, and he's like, Kalen is such a big dreamer, bro.
Mm.
And he's like, dude, you are funny. Let's make content. So I'm like, okay, because I don't have myself, like who I am, but I know what I like to do.
You mentioned in these next 4 years, because you said one thing I think is interesting is that when I asked you very beginning of like, your father's from Cameroon
Mm-hmm.
and what type of like personalities you have,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, dude, he's like the party starter, he gets things going, he's super amount of energy.
Yeah, yeah.
And he kind of bring that life into to people.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you missed that when you got into kind of like when you graduated high school.
Mm-hmm.
My question for you is, now that you said this last 4 years, you're able to kind of learn something of like the importance of because you don't appreciate something until it's gone, right? And that's just the truth of the matter.
Mm-hmm.
And now that you kind of like gone, now you've had that last 4 years, then the next 4,
Mm-hmm.
what is that kind of what is that chapter kind of like? Is this
Well, this is like the discovery, if you want to say. 'Cause
sure?
I'm so used to living in this shell of like, damn, what's going on?
Right.
And now it's like, I have a better situation. I live in Arcadia, California. My uncle, it's a tight fit because my uncle has 4 kids of his own.
Mm.
He has a wife, and then it's 4 of us.
Mm.
So we're in I believe it's a 2-bedroom place, and we're, on bunk beds. You see, I'm a tall dude.
Yeah.
I'm on bunk beds with my little brother,
Mm.
and then on the top is my other cousins, and but honestly, these past 4 years are probably like, no, I'm not gonna lie, like it's been a good time because I've been able to actually take a deep breath. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Granted, I've made mistakes
Of course.
in these past 4 years,
Sure.
but I also feel like I've been able to become myself.
Mm.
So, things that I actually like to do, like I like watching anime.
Yeah.
Growing up as a kid, you're supposed to be into rap music and girls. I like playing video games and watching anime. So, this is a place where I find friends. I started playing basketball.
Mm.
And I kind of like grew a different person, like on the side and like on my hip. But I like as I get older, like I'm breaking these bad tendencies like I have. Like I was a very anxious person. I was like depressed a lot, only because like, I don't know. I started feeling like I couldn't be who I really wanted to be, but that's only because I still have this. I grew up in LA, so it's like, can I really be myself without you judging me? You know what I'm saying? So, so I'm just shortly, gaining more friends. I started to do videos.
Yeah, dude.
I started
Content is so good.
I started to do videos, and when I first started, it was actually with my good friend. His name is Kalen. So, prior to me getting into like collaborative videos with Kalen, I was just making stupid skits.
Yeah.
Like I did my first couple videos, like I was singing in the shower,
Yeah.
right? And like and then I did like some skits where I'm trying to think. This a minute ago, right? So I did some skits where like I did the coronavirus thing, like where it's like, oh, like I got the coronavirus from drinking a Corona. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing little silly things like that. So then I meet Kalen, and he's like, Kalen is such a big dreamer, bro. And he's like, dude, you are funny. Let's make content. So I'm like, okay, because I don't have myself, like, who I am, but I know what I like to do.
Sure.
So let's do this. So at that time, I had tried out for the PC basketball team, and
Yeah.
I was redshirting. And I was like, okay, I can go to this practice or I can go film these videos.
Right.
And I got such an enjoyment out of filming these videos. We also had one more person, Michael. I call him Billy, right?
Right.
Because this is our like joke. We like to do country accents, and he calls me Billy. I call him Billy. Good friends, and we're doing pranks in stores. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like I feel alive. You know what I'm saying? But the downside to that is like I still don't care about school, bro.
Sure.
So I'm going to school, and I still get the grades to pass. I get B's and C's, but I'm not really focused on trying to have a career. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to focus on doing stuff that makes me feel good,
Sure.
which was basketball, and filming content. Yeah, it was fun, bro. That in the beginning, it was very like, oh my God, like, you get such an adrenaline rush out of doing pranks. And these are like raw pranks. I'm talking about like we're going into stores and pretending to have heart attacks. And people are like, what's wrong with you guys? But it's so much fun.
Sure.
I think at this time I was like 19.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, it was pretty cool,
bro. Kind of looking back at your life, kind of where you're at now. You're still knocking out some content, and your stuff is good. I'm seeing your stuff getting 30,000, 40, 50,000, almost 200,000 views. I'm like, you're doing it's cool that you're getting into this world and it's just getting kind of started for you. You didn't let something defeat you. You kind of like persevere from that. Yeah, kind of looking back at your life this last 22 years, how do you kind of feel about that? Like, where do you kind of stand with that? How do you sit with that?
To be honest, I actually stopped doing videos for like almost like 2 weeks, but it was like a fast, right? Sure. I was fasting from social media, but because my content had become a part of my identity, as opposed to this just being something that I do for fun, right? And I always told myself, like, you should never do it for validation, basically. And that's what it became. So as you said, like, the videos are getting a lot of views, but that's all that's on my mind. I'm like, when I post this has to do it. When I post this has to do it. And Armani, he's like, it's okay. Like, everything can't, be 100,000 views.
Sure.
Right? So, yeah, so I'm like, now me understanding, like, okay, we're going to do this, but we have to let it mature. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it blossom as you plant your seeds, the fruit will come. You know what I'm saying? So I really do still enjoy making videos, but I'm just like letting it be as it comes. You know what I'm saying? But it does feel good to see 30,000 views. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And people actually, like, it's funny because I never think about I never think about my videos like, oh, like, people know me from my videos. Every time I see someone, they're like, yeah, bro, I be seeing that shit.
Yeah.
Funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.